The next station is Yaletown Roundhouse.
مش قصة يلعب انه السكيورتي الموجود عندكم معنا في لا بيحطوا سكيورتي مع سلاح بيحطوا سكيورتي مع عم بيراقب الكاميرات قدامه على الشاشات. عرفت كيف؟ على المدخل. والله لحط لك
To arrive on the outbound platform is for Richmond to Brickhouse.
Welcome to Yaletown Roundhouse Station, the perfect place to begin our walk through some of Vancouver's most iconic and scenic areas. This station opened in 2009 as part of the Canada Line, built just in time for the 2010 Winter Olympics. It sits right in the heart of Yaletown, a trendy waterfront neighborhood that wasn't always so polished. Back in the late 1800s, this area was nothing more than rail yards. In fact, the name Yaletown comes from a small town in British Columbia where many of the workers for the Canadian Pacific Railway came from. When the railway arrived in Vancouver in 1887, it completely transformed the city, and this area became a vital industrial hub. Just outside the station, you'll find the Roundhouse Community Centre, once home to Engine 374, the very first passenger train to arrive in Vancouver. Today, that historic locomotive is proudly on display inside, a monument to the city's origins as a railway terminus. Yaletown's old warehouses have been transformed into lofts, restaurants, cafes, and design studios. Red brick, steel beams, and cobblestone lanes all tell stories of the neighborhood's past, even as it buzzes with modern energy. Let's start walking. There's so much more to uncover. Let's start by making our way over to the Roundhouse Community Centre, just a short walk from the station. Inside, we'll find something truly special, Engine 374, the first passenger train to arrive in Vancouver back in 1887. It's more than just an old locomotive. It's a symbol of how the railway connected this young city to the rest of Canada and helped shape Vancouver's future. Standing in front of it, you can almost imagine what the city felt like over a century ago.
Gerçekten de 100 dolardan fazla olan varmış.
Here it is, the Roundhouse Community Centre. At first glance, it may just look like a civic building, but this place holds deep roots in Vancouver's history. Let's step inside the Roundhouse Community Centre.
Thank you.
Hi there. Please sign in over here. Before you leave. First name in the city only.
Sorry.
Thanks. First name in the city, volunteer on the sheet over there. It just tells how many people visit.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, Kyler?
You like trains? All the way from Vancouver, huh?
Oh yeah, far away, right?
The Roundhouse isn't just a community space, it's one of the most meaningful heritage sites in Yaletown. Back in the late 1800s, this was a working rail yard where steam locomotives were housed and maintained. Trains would pull into the massive round building and be turned around on a giant turntable, which still exists today, embedded right in the plaza outside. But here's the story that makes this place truly historic. On May 23, 1887, Engine 374 arrived here, pulling the first transcontinental passenger train into Vancouver. This marked the moment the city officially became the western terminus of the Canadian Pacific Railway, a connection that helped transform it from a small logging town into a major port and economic hub. Today, the original engine is beautifully restored and proudly displayed inside the Roundhouse. Volunteers still care for it, and if you're lucky, you might meet someone who remembers the grand celebrations when it was returned here for Expo 86. It's one of those rare places where the past still feels close. Not just a building, but a memory made of brick, iron, and steam. If you look down, you'll notice names etched into these red brick tiles. They're not just decorative. These are the names of community members, families, and supporters who helped restore and preserve the Roundhouse back in the 1990s. During the transformation of this historic rail yard into a community space, people were invited to sponsor a brick as part of a fundraising effort. Each one tells a quiet story, a name, a memory, a piece of local history that helped bring this place back to life.
No line now.
Government questions, please ask.
Can you watch Company B.
This area has such a unique vibe, modern and stylish, but with a lot of history under your feet. You can still see the old rail tracks embedded in the pavement, a reminder that this whole space used to be part of Vancouver's original rail yard. The building itself was once a roundhouse, where they repaired steam locomotives, and now it's been beautifully repurposed into a community space. Take a look at the architecture. It's got that industrial red brick style, paired with large glass windows and a rounded roofline, a nod to its heritage, but updated for today's use. It's one of those rare spots where history and modern life blend so smoothly. Out here, there's usually a calm but lively energy. You've got people walking their dogs, parents with strollers, cyclists passing by, and locals just enjoying the open space. Sometimes you'll even catch an art installation or small event happening in this plaza area. Just across from the Roundhouse, you'll spot Reckless Bike Stores, a go-to spot for locals and visitors looking to explore the city on two wheels. This place has been around for years and has a solid reputation. You can rent bikes here for pretty reasonable prices, usually around $25 to $40 for a few hours, depending on the type. They've got hybrids, e-bikes, city cruisers, and even gear for kids if you're touring as a family. Helmets, locks, and maps are all included, so you're set to go right from the shop. The staff are super friendly. Whether you're an experienced cyclist or just want to cruise around and enjoy the view, they'll get you set up. And by the way, I actually did a full walking tour of this whole area, showing off all the best spots around Yaletown and the Seawall. If you want to check that out, just click the link now in the top right corner. It'll take you straight there. All right, let's keep moving. More gems to discover just ahead. Our journey begins at the edge of Yaletown, where Davie Street stretches west toward the water. As we walk, the city's rhythm surrounds us. Cozy cafes, local shops, and the colorful spirit of Davie Village, one of Vancouver's most vibrant and inclusive neighborhoods. With each block, the energy shifts. The noise softens, the breeze picks up, and slowly the ocean comes into view. We'll continue down to the very end of Davie Street, where it opens up to English Bay, and from there we'll follow the Seawall back toward the Yaletown waterfront, completing a full scenic loop through the heart of the city. On my right, you can see a few people sitting out front. This place is Urban Fare, one of Yaletown's main grocery stores. It's more than just groceries. Inside, they've got a cafe, bakery, salad bar, and even a little seating area if you want to grab a quick bite. You'll find everything from fresh produce and organic snacks to gourmet items and ready-made meals. It's super convenient for locals and a great stop if you're visiting and want something fresh without sitting down at a full restaurant. Right in front of me is Steve's Poke Bar. If you're into fresh, build-your-own poke bowls, this spot's a favorite. They've got sushi-grade tuna, salmon, spicy mayo, and all the toppings you can imagine. Super popular with locals looking for a quick, healthy lunch. And if you look across the street on the other side, this whole stretch is packed with trendy restaurants, cafes, and services. You'll find everything from ramen shops and brunch spots to dry cleaners, salons, and juice bars. Yaletown really packs a lot into these few blocks. Whether you're hungry, need a quick errand, or just want to people watch, there's always something going on. Now we're heading onto Mainland Street, one of Yaletown's most iconic and stylish strips. You'll notice the historic red brick buildings lining both sides. These used to be old warehouses back in the industrial days. Now, they've been transformed into trendy restaurants, cocktail bars, boutique shops, and creative workspaces. The vibe here is a mix of modern and vintage, with patios tucked under old loading docks, string lights overhead in the evening, and tons of energy, especially on weekends. Whether you're looking for a cozy brunch spot, a fancy dinner, or just some people watching with a coffee, Mainland Street is one of the best places to soak in that Yaletown charm. Just around the corner is Hamilton Street, another key part of Yaletown's charm. Like Mainland Street, Hamilton is lined with those classic brick heritage buildings, but it has a slightly quieter, more laid-back vibe. You'll still find great restaurants, cozy cafes, and boutique fitness studios, but it feels a bit more local, like the place people who live here actually hang out. There are also some beautiful residential lofts above the shops, giving the whole street that cool urban village feel. In the evening, it lights up nicely with warm patio lighting and a mix of fine dining and casual spots. If you're into hidden gems and a slower pace, Hamilton is worth wandering down. Oh wow, check that out, a Lamborghini just chilling on the side of the road. Maybe one day, with all your support, I'll be doing these walking tours from the driver's seat of one of those. Until then, I'll keep walking. So if you're enjoying the tour, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel grow and maybe gets me one step closer to 4 wheels. All right, now we're walking through Emery Barnes Park, kind of like a little oasis in the middle of the city. This park is named after Emery Barnes, a former CFL football player who later became one of the first black politicians elected to the BC legislature. Pretty cool legacy. It's a popular hangout for locals. You'll see people walking their dogs, kids playing in the splash park, and folks just relaxing on the grass. There's even a dog off-leash area and some public art scattered around if you keep an eye out. What I love about this spot is how it mixes nature with city life. You've got high-rises all around, but the vibe in here is totally chill. Great place to take a break, eat lunch, or just people watch. And hey, if you're visiting with family or with your dog, this is one of the most convenient green spaces downtown. All right, we're coming up on Granville Street, one of the most iconic and lively streets in downtown Vancouver. During the day, it's all about shopping, cafes, and street performers, but at night, this place totally transforms, with clubs, bars, live music, and neon lights that give it that classic downtown vibe. And if you're into history, this area used to be known as Theater Row, packed with cinemas and old school theaters. You can still spot some of the vintage signs if you look up. By the way, I actually did a full walking tour from Georgia Street to Granville, showing more of the street life, shops, and energy around here. If you want to check that out, click the link in the top right corner. It's a great way to see this area in more detail. Now, I'm coming up to Howe Street, one of the main arteries running through downtown Vancouver. It's a busy north-south street that actually stretches all the way to the Granville Bridge. If you head down Howe from here, you'd eventually end up near False Creek, and just a bit further, Granville Island. But right now, we're staying in the heart of Davie Village, where the energy feels just a little more colorful. Now we're coming up to Hornby Street, a quieter street compared to Howe, but it's actually one of the best cycling routes in downtown. You'll often see people cruising by on bikes here, thanks to the protected bike lane that runs all the way to the waterfront. If you turned right here, you'd head toward Robson Square and the Vancouver Art Gallery. But we're continuing our stroll along Davie, and trust me, there's still a lot more to see. You're now walking through Davie Village, the heart of Vancouver's LGBTQ+ community. It's a vibrant part of the West End, centered along Davie Street between Burrard and Jervis. The street is named after Alexander Davie, a former premier of British Columbia. But over time, this area became known for something more, a safe and proud space for LGBTQ+ people, starting in the 1970s. Today, you'll find rainbow flags, the famous crosswalk at Davie and Butte, and Jim Deva Plaza, a tribute to one of Vancouver's most important LGBTQ+ advocates. Whether you're here for the culture, the nightlife, or just the community vibes, Davie Village is where Vancouver shines with pride.
Even using
Have you ever walked through a neighborhood that just instantly made you feel welcome? What place gave you that same kind of energy as Davie Village? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about your favorite spots.
Make a decision how much you want to give.
Davie Street isn't just another road in Vancouver, it's alive. Every block has its own vibe, from cozy cafes to colorful crosswalks to community murals that tell powerful stories. And what I love most? You never know what you'll see next. A drag performer grabbing coffee, a tiny dog in sunglasses, or a spontaneous dance party during Pride Week. Stick with me as we keep walking. There's a lot more to discover here. Now we're coming up to Thurlow Street, a quieter, tree-lined street that cuts through the West End. While it's not as busy as Burrard or Granville, Thurlow connects you to some local gems. If you head north, you'll reach Sunset Beach and the Seawall, one of the best places to watch the sunset in Vancouver. And if you head south, you'll find cafes, boutique apartments, and that classic West End charm, calm, green, and just minutes from downtown. It's the kind of street where you'll see people walking their dogs, riding bikes, or heading to the beach with a coffee in hand. If you're craving a flavor-packed break during your Davie Village stroll, make a stop at Gurkha Himalayan Kitchen. Try their tender garlic lamb, cool off with a mango lassi, or treat yourself to their chai creme brulee if you're feeling adventurous. It's a cozy spot that's just as warm and welcoming as the neighborhood itself. We're now at Butte and Davie, the heart of Davie Village. Right beneath your feet is one of Canada's first permanent rainbow crosswalks, painted in 2013 to celebrate pride and inclusion. To your left is Jim Davie Plaza, named after a local LGBTQ plus activist. It's a public space filled with art, seating, and community events, a true gathering place. And if you head down Butte Street, you'll reach Sunset Beach, a local favorite for catching the sunset after a day in the village. One of the great things about walking through Davie Village is how safe and welcoming it feels, especially during the day. The area is well patrolled, with a strong presence of community policing and a focus on keeping it inclusive and secure for everyone. You'll also notice downtown ambassadors and neighborhood outreach workers, especially around Jim Davie Plaza. Their job isn't just security. They help with directions, public safety, and checking in on vulnerable members of the community. Like any urban neighborhood, it's smart to stay aware of your surroundings, especially at night, but Davie Village benefits from its tight-knit community vibe. Locals tend to look out for each other, and there's a real sense of shared respect here. We're now at Jervis Street, which marks the western edge of Davie Village. From here on, the neighborhood becomes a bit more residential, quieter, with tree-lined streets, high-rise apartments, and a slower pace. But don't let that fool you. This area still carries the spirit of the village. Locals call it home, and you'll still spot pride flags hanging from balconies and cafes with a loyal community vibe. If you head north on Jervis, you'll end up at Sunset Beach Park, a peaceful spot where locals relax, watch the sunset, or start a jog along the seawall. If you used to live in Vancouver but now live somewhere else, would you like to see your old neighborhood again? Let me know in the comments where you used to live, and if there's a specific route you want me to walk, I'd be happy to bring those memories back to life for you. As of 2025, renting here doesn't come cheap. A studio apartment near Davie goes for around $2,300 a month, while a one-bedroom averages about $2,500 to $2,700. If you're looking for a two-bedroom, expect to pay $3,600 or more, and even higher in newer or high-rise buildings along the street. Despite the high cost, people are drawn here for the lifestyle. Walkable streets, lively cafes, ocean views, and a strong sense of community. It's city living with a neighborhood feel, but you'll definitely feel it in your rent, too.
People, I'm not saying that, but people like who are born don't know the difference. And they never would, because they never had to.
You're an experience.
Would you say yourself as a person, if you were born
Now, if you're planning to drive into the West End, fair warning, parking here can be tricky. Street parking is limited and often packed, especially on weekends. Most residential streets are permit only, and finding a free spot can feel like winning the lottery. Metered parking is available along main streets like Davie, Denman, and Robson, but it'll cost you around $3 to $5 per hour, depending on the time of day. If you're staying longer, there are a few paid lots tucked between buildings, but they fill up fast. Locals often ditch the car entirely and stick to walking, biking, or transit, which is honestly the best way to enjoy the West End. Are you guys still with me? Good, because I've got a story you're going to want to hear. It's one of those real powerful stories that reminds you why places like Davie Street matter. Back in the early 1990s, a man named Jim Diva owned a small bookstore right here on Davie Street called Little Sisters. It wasn't just a shop, it was a lifeline for the LGBTQ+ community. At the time, Canada Customs was regularly seizing queer literature, claiming it was obscene, even when it was academic or artistic, but Jim wouldn't accept that. He set up a typewriter right in the store window and started writing letters, hundreds of them, to politicians, lawyers, journalists. He kept fighting, and that fight eventually reached the Supreme Court of Canada. You might have already passed Jim Diva Plaza a few blocks back. It's named in his honor as a place that celebrates free expression, inclusion, and community. A reminder that the rights we enjoy today were earned by people who stood their ground, sometimes with nothing but a typewriter and courage. All right, we're now getting close to English Bay, one of Vancouver's most iconic waterfront spots. You'll probably start to feel the breeze pick up, and if it's close to sunset, the light gets that golden glow everyone comes here for. Locals love it for evening walks, beach volleyball, or just grabbing a bench and people watching. This is where Davie Street's vibrant energy melts into something quieter. Ocean waves, soft sand, and a view that makes you forget you're in the middle of the city. Stick around, I'll show you one of the best viewpoints just up ahead. All right, here we are at one of the most fun spots along English Bay, the famous Amazing Laughter statues. These 14 larger-than-life bronze sculptures were created by artist Yue Minjin and installed here in 2009. Each statue shows a man laughing hysterically, capturing pure joy and reminding us to find happiness in the little moments. You'll often see people posing with them, trying to mimic their laughs. It's impossible not to smile. These statues bring a playful energy right here on the seawall, making this spot a perfect place to pause, have some fun, and soak in the ocean views.
Oh, really? Well, you could just, I would recommend you just
All right, everyone, welcome to English Bay Beach, one of Vancouver's most popular and picturesque spots. This is where city life meets the ocean, and it's easy to see why locals and visitors alike love it here. During the summer, the vibe really comes alive with beach volleyball games, paddleboarders, and picnickers soaking up the sun. And even in the cooler months, it's a peaceful spot to unwind and enjoy the fresh ocean air. Whether you want to kick off your shoes and relax on the sand, or take a stroll along the seawall, which is exactly what we're going to do, this beach has it all. Along the way, we'll enjoy beautiful views, lively beach scenes, and peaceful spots to just breathe it all in. And when we finish, we'll loop back around and end our walk where we started, down at the Yaletown waterfront. Just a heads up, while it's a great spot to enjoy a picnic or snacks, alcohol isn't allowed on the beach, so be sure to save any drinks for nearby licensed patios or your own home. Now, English Bay isn't just beautiful, it's also one of Vancouver's most vibrant gathering places, especially when it comes to events and festivals. If you're here in late July or early August, you might catch the famous Honda Celebration of Light, a massive international fireworks competition that lights up the sky right over the bay. Thousands of people line the beach and Seawall to watch, and the energy is electric. In the winter, believe it or not, this is also where the brave take on the polar bear swim, a New Year's Day tradition where people dive straight into these icy waters. Yup, totally real and kind of legendary. Throughout the year, you'll also see outdoor yoga sessions, live music, art pop-ups, food trucks, and even the occasional movie night under the stars. There's always something happening. And of course, on any sunny day, this place naturally turns into a festival of its own, with people sunbathing, playing beach volleyball, paddleboarding, or just hanging out with friends till the sun goes down. And just in case you're wondering, yes, there are public washrooms here at English Bay. You'll find them right near the Cactus Club Cafe, just off the main walkway. They're open daily and pretty easy to spot, especially during the busy summer months when the beach gets packed. And good news, they're free to use. There are also seasonal portable washrooms placed around the area when big events like the Celebration of Light are happening, just to help with the extra crowds. All right, before we keep moving, let me give you some quick, useful info, because if you're spending time at the beach, you'll want to know this stuff. There are water fountains nearby to keep you hydrated, and plenty of benches and shaded spots along the walkway if you need a break or just want to take in the view. The beach area is also wheelchair accessible, with paved paths and ramps that make it easy for everyone to enjoy the seawall and get close to the sand. And if you're feeling a little adventurous, just a short walk from here, you can rent paddleboards, kayaks, or even bikes to cruise the seawall or hit the waves. So whether you're here to chill, play, or explore, English Bay's got you covered, with all the little things that make a day by the ocean extra comfortable. All right, here we are right in front of the Inukshuk, one of the most iconic landmarks along English Bay. This stone figure might look simple, but it carries deep meaning. The Inukshuk comes from Inuit culture where it was traditionally used in the Arctic to mark important routes, hunting grounds, or places of significance, kind of like a guidepost made by hand for survival. This particular one was built for Expo 86, and it's been standing here ever since as a symbol of community, guidance, and welcome. And fun fact, if it looks familiar, that's because the 2010 Winter Olympics logo was inspired by this very shape. It's a popular photo spot, especially at sunset. And honestly, can you blame anyone? The view from here is unreal. Take a moment, snap a photo, and then let's keep walking along the seawall. More beauty ahead. And now we're arriving at Sunset Beach. This spot is a little quieter than English Bay, but just as beautiful. As the name suggests, it's one of the best places in Vancouver to catch the sunset, especially if you want a more relaxed vibe with fewer crowds. This area was once part of the old shoreline that Indigenous Coast Salish people traveled and fished along for generations. It's a place of natural beauty that's seen a lot of change, from early industrial shoreline to the recreational space it is today. These days, Sunset Beach is known not just for its stunning views, but also for hosting community events, like the Vancouver Pride Festival March finale, art installations, and the occasional peaceful gathering or performance. The beach has a gentle slope and calm waters, making it a favorite for paddleboarders and swimmers in the summer, and even in the off-season, it's perfect for a quiet walk, a picnic, or just sitting on the logs with a coffee in hand. It's one of those local gems that balances nature and city life perfectly, and we're lucky to have it right here along the seawall.
I want it to look clean. I was gonna say on the upside you can always now keep butter. Oh yeah.
Jag tror att vi tjänar mer än vad en lärare tjänar, vill jag säga. Men det är ju när hon jobbar. När hon inte jobbar så är det ingenting.
And just off to the side, here is the Sunset Beach concession stand. Perfect if you're craving something quick like a burger, fries, or a cold drink. On hot summer days, this spot gets pretty popular, so don't be surprised if there's a bit of a line. Right next to it, you've got the public washrooms and an outdoor shower if you've been in the water or just want to rinse off the sand. Super convenient if you're spending the day here. It's simple, but it's got everything you need. Food, washrooms, and a great view. A great little stop whether you're relaxing, people watching, or just continuing your walk like we are.
Giờ rồi.
Now we're coming to a spot that dog lovers really appreciate, the off-leash dog beach just under the Burrard Street Bridge. This is the only section along English Bay where dogs are allowed to run free, splash in the water, and just be their playful selves without a leash. You'll usually see a happy mix of golden retrievers, Frenchies, labs, all chasing balls, swimming, or just rolling in the sand. It definitely adds a fun, energetic vibe to this part of the seawall. The water here is calm and shallow, which makes it perfect for dogs to cool off, especially on a warm day. Just a reminder though, outside of this area, dogs do need to be on a leash, and it's always important to pick up after them so everyone can enjoy the space. If you're a dog person, this little stretch is like a bonus feature built into your walk, even if you're just here to watch the pups play. You'll start to notice ferry docks popping up along the shoreline, kind of like bus stops on the water. These docks are all around the area, making it super easy to hop on and off the ferries whenever you want. There are two main ferry services here, the classic blue boats of False Creek Ferries and the colorful Aqua Bus. Both run all year, stopping at popular spots like Yaletown, David Lamb Park, Granville Island, and the Aquatic Center near Sunset Beach. A one-way adult fare is about $6, with a return ticket around $10, and day passes for about $20. They run every few minutes during the day, so you rarely have to wait long. Think of them like public transit boats, docks spread out like bus stops, making your waterfront travels convenient and scenic. And if you want to see what a full ferry ride looks like, I have a tour from Granville Island to Yaletown. Just click the link in the top right corner to watch.
I'm gonna have favors. So when did your let them fall asleep. It's really humid.
Time or the Tom Cruise.
If you look across the water just under the Granville Bridge, that's Granville Island, one of Vancouver's most iconic spots. It's not actually an island, but it feels like a little world of its own. Originally an industrial area, it was transformed into a public space in the 1970s. Now it's packed with life, from artisan shops and theaters to local galleries and one of the best public markets in Canada. The Granville Island Public Market is a must-visit. You'll find fresh produce, handmade chocolates, gourmet foods, and local coffee roasters all under one roof. It's a feast for the senses. There's also the kids market, tons of waterfront restaurants, art studios, and even a small sake brewery. It's the kind of place where you could easily spend an entire afternoon wandering around. And the best part? You can hop on one of the little ferries right here and be there in just a few minutes. And just ahead is George Wainborn Park, one of the waterfront's hidden gems. It's named after George Wainborn, a longtime Vancouver city councillor who helped shape much of the city's modern urban planning, especially in the West End and downtown. This park is part of the newer developments in the Yaletown area, and it really shows, with its wide, open green space, winding paths, and modern public art. You'll see locals here, walking their dogs, laying out on the grass, or just taking in the view of False Creek. It's got a peaceful, almost elegant vibe, tucked right between the glass towers and the seawall. There are benches, a beautiful fountain, and sweeping views across the water toward Granville Island. It's the kind of spot where you could pause, catch your breath, or just watch the boats go by for a while.
How about I carry you? Okay, well, we still have to go. We're 5 minutes away, Koa. Come with me. Deanna, Lori, Fraser.
As we follow the seawall, you really start to feel that unique Vancouver vibe, the blend of city life and waterfront calm all in one view. Over on my left, you've got the city, sleek high-rises, balconies filled with plants, and glimpses of everyday life through glass windows. People walking their dogs, grabbing coffee, heading home. It's busy but beautiful. And on my right, False Creek stretches out, peaceful and open. The water's dotted with ferries, kayaks, and the occasional paddleboarder making their way along the shoreline. It's a moment where you feel like you're walking right between two worlds, one foot in the city, the other by the sea. And just ahead, we're coming into David Lamb Park, one of the largest and most open green spaces along this side of False Creek. It's named after Dr. David Lamb, who was the 25th Lieutenant Governor of British Columbia, and also the first Chinese Canadian to hold that role. He was a big supporter of public spaces and community development, so it's pretty fitting that this park carries his name. This place is always buzzing. You've got wide fields for soccer, ultimate frisbee, or just stretching out on the grass. There's also a playground, basketball courts, and even a dog-friendly area tucked into one corner. In the summer, this park hosts everything from yoga classes to big community festivals, and during events like the Vancouver International Jazz Festival, the whole area turns into an open-air celebration. It's the kind of spot that really brings the neighborhood together, whether you're here for a game, a picnic, or just taking a break along the seawall.
No, I think this is the first time, but it's just
Here's something pretty cool about this area. Did you know that David Lem Park sits right on what used to be part of Vancouver's original shoreline before the city started expanding False Creek with landfill? That means this whole stretch you're walking on is actually built on what used to be water. Pretty wild, right? It's like walking on reclaimed history. It's little stories like these that make walking the seawall more than just a stroll. It's a journey through the city's past and present.
What are you doing for the summer? Like, how is Rose not charged?
told me to put it under my pillow.
And just like that, we've made it back to Yaletown Waterfront, wrapping up this full circle tour. We started way back at the end of Davie Street, explored the heart of Davie Village, walked all the way down to English Bay, passed through Sunset Beach, caught the energy of False Creek, and followed the Seawall right back here to Yaletown. It's been a journey full of stories, views, local gems, and a few unexpected moments along the way. If you enjoyed this walk, go ahead and like the video, subscribe, and maybe even share it with someone who misses Vancouver or just loves a good city stroll. And hey, if you used to live here or want me to explore your old neighborhood, tell me in the comments where to go next. You pick the route, I'll do the walking. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.